Are you thinking of starting a northbound thru hike of the Appalachian Trail? If so, I have 7 things that you should know before you go. Hi guys, I'm Audrey. On trail I'm known as Glow Stick. In 2018, I quit my amazing job in Washington, D.C. to thru hike the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. It was so magical. I loved it so much. And now I just wanted to share with you guys these 7 things that you should know before you go. Number 1, if you're starting with the northbound bubble in the typical starting time, so that's usually between mid-March and mid-April, maybe a little earlier, just know that Georgia is going to be cold. The nights in Georgia especially get super frigid. And you might think like, oh, it's down south, it's in the springtime, the weather should be nice. That's not always the case, because keep in mind that when you're on the AT, you're up in the mountains in Georgia. The weather could be beautiful down in the valleys, down in towns. Spring could be in bloom. There could be, flowering trees everywhere. But then you get up into the mountains and there's fog, there's cold rain, sometimes it even snows. Just be aware, be prepared. Make sure you have a sleeping bag rated to at least 20 degrees. I personally had a 0-degree sleeping bag. I started on March 20th. And I also had Under Armour and a puffy and a fleece. And for the first month, I swear to you, I had to wear all of my clothes to bed because I was still so freezing. And I also had to buy a sleeping bag liner to add some warmth into my sleeping bag. Granted, I'm a cold sleeper, but I watched everyone else also feel the effects of the cold as well. So don't be fooled that it's in the south in the spring. It is quite chilly, so make sure that you are prepared. Number 2, don't be afraid that you're gonna get out there and be super lonely. If you wanna make friends on the AT going northbound, you will make friends, I promise you that. There is a huge community along the AT, and I think my year, like 4,000 people started going northbound, most of them, again, between that mid-March to mid-April range. So there are plenty of people around. You can go to shelters and stay there. You can go to campsites. You can eat dinner at the shelters, chat people up. You'll see people on the trail all day. I personally was sometimes a bit, not upset, but maybe a little annoyed because I couldn't get away from people some of the time at the beginning of the trail. I felt like I needed more alone time and I couldn't get it because there were always people around, which honestly is a great problem to have. I always felt like I had a support system out there. I never felt lonely. I was meeting new people all the time. I would make friends on certain parts of the trail and then I would see them later on in other parts of the trail. I started with a friend from college and we ended up meeting another friend our very first night on the trail who hiked with us for an entire month. She was amazing. And then our first week on the trail, we got into a trail family, and that happened because we kept seeing the same people on trail and at shelters, and then we decided to share hotel rooms with people in towns. So inevitably, we ended up forming this trail family where we would all decide to stay at the same shelters or campsites, or we would go to towns together. And even though we didn't hike together all day long, we still knew where all the other people were gonna stay, and we would plan to be together. And Ibex is my friend that I did the whole trail with, we ended up having a trail family for pretty much the entire AT. We were always surrounded by friends. And everyone out there is super open and super friendly, and you're all having this shared experience. So if you want to make friends, you will do it. So don't worry about getting out there and being alone in the wilderness, because that's really not the experience that you have hiking the AT. It's a huge community and social experience. So don't fear being alone. Number 3, this hike will restore your faith in humanity. There is such an amazing community along the AT. There are so many people along the trail, from trail communities or people just passing by or other thru hikers or the friends or family of thru hikers who are out there to help you, who want so badly to help you along your journey, to help you make it to Maine. Whether it's through bringing trail magic, so, lots of treats or drinks or whatever out on the trail, whether it's religious groups offering you a place to stay or a shower or a pancake breakfast, whether it's local community members offering you a ride or to stay at their house, whether it's a stranger just randomly giving you some food or $20. People want to help you and want to help take care of you. It doesn't matter what your political beliefs are, your religion, your ideology, your lifestyle. None of that matters on the trail. And honestly, a lot of that stuff isn't even talked about, or at least not talked about frequently. It's like you go out there and you're all just people and you're on this journey and you want to help each other, and there are so many people along the way that want to help you, and it's just a totally magical experience, and it really helps you to see the good in people. So just be prepared. You're going to think much more highly of people once you're out on the trail. Number 4, I only bring this up because people ask me all of the time how much weight I lost. So anecdotally, from everything I saw out there and people that I talked to, the men drop weight, and they drop weight very quickly. The women get strong and put on muscle. The guys that I hiked with started losing weight the very first week on trail. The women I knew, myself included, might have dropped a few pounds. Some even gained weight. But for the most part, they just got super strong. Their legs got super strong. It's like you look at Katahdin photos at the end of the trail, and the men look so grizzly and skinny, and the women just look so powerful and strong. So if you're a man and you don't want to lose weight, just keep that in mind, because you might want to have a plan for how to get the caloric intake that you might need to keep the weight on. If you're a woman going out there to lose weight, I'm not saying that you can't lose weight while you're out there. I'm just saying that for the most part, what I saw was that men lost a ton of weight, got skinny. Women did not lose a ton of weight, maybe lost a little, but mostly got really strong. So just be aware. I personally lost 13 pounds, but 11 of that was within a 2-week period after I had 2 bouts of a stomach bug, and went to a festival where I was doing a ton of walking, and then I had to do multiple 20+ mile days to catch up to my trail family after that. So, 13 pounds, not that much in the grand scheme of 2,200 miles. So that's my take on weight loss. Number 5, you're probably not gonna see as much wildlife as you think. So if you are going on the trail with a fear of running into all of these scary animals like bears, well, first of all, it's very rare for a black bear to attack a human, super rare. And secondly, you really don't see that many animals out on the trail. I think that the animals know that people are passing by on this one specific trail and where they hang out, and they're steering clear of you. I heard a lot of bears in the night, or what I think were bears, we'll call them maybe bears. They would come around camp looking for food once everyone was asleep, but for the most part, they steered clear. I saw 3 bears on the trail. They were all running away from me as quickly as possible. I saw a few snakes. I saw 2 pine martens. I saw 1 porcupine. But for the fact that I was living in the woods for 6 months, I really didn't see that many animals. I probably see just as many animals living in Boulder in a 6-month period as I did living in the wilderness on the AT for that time period. So just be aware, whether you want to see them or you don't want to see them, you're probably not going to see that many. At least if you're hiking in the hiker bubble of, the time that it's popular to do the thru hike, because the animals know that you're there and they're not interested in hanging out with you. Number 6, you're stronger than you think you are. If you're going into this and you're scared and you're anxious and you're having nightmares, because all of those things describe me when I was about to go do the AT, it's okay. You're gonna figure it all out once you're out there. You will hike hike up and over mountains every single day with a heavy pack on your back. You will camp every night in the outdoors. You'll go through all kinds of weather. You'll probably get sick. You'll get bug bites. You will have days when you just want to throw your stuff, or you want to scream, or you want to cry, but you will get through all of this, and you'll do it with the help of the trail community. You can do it. You can figure all of this out. You can make it from Georgia to Maine. Whether you're a super experienced backpacker or this is your first time ever backpacking, it doesn't matter. I met both kinds of people out on the trail, and both kinds of people were able to finish. I promise you, you will find out that you are both physically and emotionally stronger than you think you are. And lastly, number 7, be forewarned, this trail will break your heart into a million pieces. Whether you slow down at the end of the trail because you're not ready to finish, or whether you rush to the end because you're so ready to finish, you're gonna get off the trail, and it might take a few days or a few weeks, but eventually you are going to realize what a freaking incredible experience this thru hike has been. You're gonna look back at everything that you went through, and you're gonna wish that you were still there. I swear to you, no matter how ready you are to be done, I personally was not ready to be done at the end of the trail, but many of my friends were, and it doesn't matter. They all came back around and said, I wish I was still there. I still dream about the trail every night. I think about it every day. And even the people on trail who are like, this is my only thru hike, I would never do this again. That's usually not the case. They usually start saying after some time, oh yeah, I've been thinking about the PCT, or maybe the long trail, or maybe someday I'll do the AT again. But in all seriousness, be aware that post-trail depression is a very common thing, and you shouldn't be afraid to give yourself some space to heal from everything that you've gone through. Give yourself some time. Like, it's hard to just jump back into society when you've been living this very specific, beautiful type of life for 6 months. I had post-trail depression pretty bad, and I didn't start to feel normal probably for 6 months after I finished the AT. It was a really hard and really dark time because I had just lived this incredible existence on the trail and had this strong community. And then just like that, I finished and I felt like it was all gone. But in the time since I finished the trail, what I learned is that's not true. It's not gone. You might be done with that experience for the time being, but you will carry it with you forever, and you will carry that community forward with you. And you can go back and visit anytime you want. You can do another thru hike anytime you want. I mean, of course, you have to save up money and worry about, adult life and adult things, but you can go back. It's not over once you finish the trail. So it's okay to feel sad that it's over, or angry that it's over, or lost. Those things are all super common, and they will pass. You will find your way again. And even in finding your way, you will get to keep all of those amazing experiences that you had. No one can take that away from you. Time cannot take that away from you. So just be forewarned, it might hurt when the trail ends. If there are any other thru hikers watching this video, I would be super curious if there are any other tips that you might want to share with future thru hikers, anything else that you think they might need to know, or future thru hikers, if you have questions, please leave those in the comments. I would be happy to answer them. Don't forget to like this video if you got some value out of it. Subscribe to my channel for more hiking, backpacking, Appalachian Trail, and Colorado content. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll talk to you later.